Hey, baby love. So today is January 13th, because my hair video did not drop yet. Which, by the way, if you like my hair, make sure you come back tomorrow at 12 p.m. to see the process of how I did it and everything like that. Products I used. It took about 4 hours, which I'll explain in the video. But this is my vlog of my blah, blah, blah. This is my first vlog of 2019. How are y'all 2019 going? I actually have an interview to do, or a radio interview to do. So I didn't want to come on and vlog that, but I didn't want to do the introduction. So right now I'm Tweety Bird down. Let me see if y'all can see my shoe. Tweety Bird down right now. I'm repping my childhood. I love Tweety Bird.
Spreading the gospel 24/7. AmexGospel.com. AmexGospel.com. The soul of the city. It's time to get your drink.
Oh, yeah, we're sitting right here in the studio once again. Thank you all for tuning in with us. It's such a pleasure to have you on every week with us from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's so good to know that you all are listening to good gospel music on a Sunday afternoon, just being home. Right now, we're sitting in the studio with Sister Stacy. Sire, Eminence.
Yeah,
Sire is a young entrepreneur, and she has her own natural hair products that is out and on the market. And Natural Goddess is the women product, and the Natural Adonis is the men product.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
and of course, I'm always for pushing our young African American young people, and of course, when we talk about hair products, I haven't had that language in probably about 4 or 5 years now. So we brought in another hairstylist and a hair specialist that's going to help have this conversation along with us, Mr. Robert Jackson, who is joining in with us in the studio. Say something to the people, Robert, so they know that you're there. I ain't playing.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, yeah. And so as we're sitting here in the studio, we're going to talk about your product. Tell us about, well, first of all, before we get into the product, how did you get started with this?
Okay, so my story starts all with God. At about 5 years old, he told me I will have my own hair care company. And at 17, after the loss of the Natural Adonis, which I decided to go ahead and market it after my brother, the men's line, he told me to go ahead. So I put all my grief, hurt, and pain into the product. I put it in the Lord's hands. And after he told me to go ahead, I said, well, if that's what you want me to do, then show me every aspect and every avenue in which you want me to put in for your people. And ever since then, the great testimonials from the help with alopecia, the help with cancer patients, eczema, just daily hair care has just been rolling in, and I'm forever grateful,
Okay, so how did you come to create your own product that is on the market? You created your own product in this, because in my eyes, it's almost like you have to be some type of chemical scientist in order to come up with this. So were you blowing up things in the home? And I guess your mom, Stacy's going to tell on that.
Actually, no. I believe that's where prayer and wisdom come in, because, I still had to have a home to house this stuff at, right? But no, I wasn't blowing anything up, but we were walking around the house, like, shaking our head, and people was knocking on the door saying, can I get some hair crack? Because this stuff is too good. Yes. People were actually knocking on the door saying, where did you make this at? Can I get some hair crack? That was the name of it at first, but actually though, it all took a lot of time and patience, to be honest with you. I didn't just want to put anything out there. I had to test, the products. I had to test, where I was getting my ingredients from, finding out what was good for this texture hair, what wasn't good for this, and what was great for every texture hair. And so from there, God led me and told me what to take out, what to put in, what not to put in, and, we were born. Natural Goddess came first, and I believe like a couple months to a couple of years later, Natural Adonis came forth.
Okay.
So when you say that you found out what type of, type of product you was using for whatever type, does it go for every texture of hair, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's universal. Everything is universal. So from like 2A to 4C, we take care of everybody.
Okay.
Now, I heard you say something, and I hear this also on men's hair loss, the channels and stuff like that, where they talk about the alopecia. And still, I guess I guess my question is how in your product or in dealing with your product or the product that you sell rather, how when you talk about alopecia is for those that have already lost their hair, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
and so if they have a loss of hair and they're like on the completely bald circuit or whatever, you're saying that you can use this product and the product will grow your hair back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
We like to do a lot of intense, intense basically cycles of it basically. But what they would do is they will, put it on their scalp, massage it. I do like to put heat on it so it can get down, so it can go into the layers of the scalp and the follicles.
What you mean by heat? Putting your head
Oh,
in the
I'm
oven
sorry.
and
I'm
putting
sorry.
a towel over
I
your
did
face?
that specify that right. But I mean, like putting that hair cap on, and getting, basically a daily conditioning cap.
Uh-huh.
So you basically working the oils down because oil is always best used warm to me. It flows better when it's warm.
Okay.
What about a hair dryer?
A hair dryer, yes, that can work too. That can work too. And then also I do like to recommend, and this is for anybody dealing with alopecia or male pattern baldness, woman pattern balding, anything like that. But any type of hair or skin, I just let them know that the best thing to do is water and vegetation. That's like the best thing to really push it through. Right.
Yes, your diet.
Okay, water and Okay, so drinking a lot of water.
Yes, sir.
And then eating a lot of vegetables.
Yes.
Okay, now, and you know what? In this day and time, and especially with us that are African American, we do eat our vegetables like collard greens and pea and stuff like that. But we have a lot of oil in that food. So,
Right.
I mean, does that? Do you regulate that? That has to change.
I would say use more healthy oils, like grapeseed, coconut, avocado, things of that nature. Not so much as the corn oil. A lot of people, and myself included, I had an allergy to corn and didn't know it until I, just started paying attention to my body and was like, hold on, every time I eat corn, something's different. So I had to cut a lot of corn out,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but also she always recommends nice leafy green vegetables.
Right.
Okay.
Fresh
Yes,
vegetables.
right.
So
and
we're,
fruit.
we're talking about the salads, and when you talk about vegetables, just throw it out there because some people may not know and they just.
Okay, kale, asparagus is one of the greatest things.
Okay.
But yeah, kale, spinach, asparagus, any type of like bok choy, the great leafy greens, the chlorophyll, which is providing oxygen, and with oxygen comes blood flow, and with blood flow comes oxygen. So, your hair is bound to get back up and start growing.
Now, see, I haven't heard the term bok choy since I left New York, and when I left from there, I've never heard that again. Bok choy. Yeah. And I've had that before, and that's pretty good. So, Mom,
Right.
tell us how you feel about the product, and especially how your daughter gotten started, with it, and were you surprised or what? Was this came natural? Or?
It really actually was a surprise because, as she mentioned, my son had just passed away, and so I was in a total grieving, numb state. And I had, prior to that, actually the same week that he passed, I had just had my hair microbraided, and so that's a preventive style. I was natural. I had stopped using relaxers, as I call it, the creamy crack. I had gotten away from that, so I had my hair microed, and I just wasn't doing anything to it. And so one day I was just laying there in my state, and she said, "Mom, let me oil your hair." And this came because she had gotten tired of buying products that were natural, as they said that they were. And so she's just like, I'm just going to make my own products. And she did, and I just, like I said, was in a state. So she said, let me oil your hair, and I was like, okay, whatever. So, like, 3 days later, my micros no longer looked new. It looked like I was, it had, the new growth, it was ridiculous. I had to take it out. The new growth it was just like, boom. And my hair was no longer fresh and cute. And so I was like, okay, so we're going to sell this. And she wasn't in a state, but I just knew. And so in a grieving state and not wanting to stay there and lose myself and lose her from what we were going through, I put everything that we had into pushing her and pushing this product, because God revealed to me that this product was going to heal his people. And it wasn't just going to heal their hair. It just wasn't going to heal their skin, but it's an anointing that comes with it that's going to heal their life.
Okay, and I want to go back to this question again. How did you come up with your own product? How did, when you said let me oil your hair, I mean, were you, pouring Crisco oil, you pouring this oil? I mean, how did you come up with it?
Well, to go back to the beginning, my cousin gave me some coconut oil after we had came to Georgia just to get away. And so from there, I was like, reading up, and coconut oil just being freshly natural. I was using coconut oil, but I was putting more coconut oil into the products I was already buying. And so it still was kind of flaking, and my hair still wasn't really, ready with it. And one day, like I was talking to the Lord, and He said, how I always told you to have your own hair care, your own hair product. Well, now's the time to start. So I was 17, but I was like, well, if that's what you want me to do, then show me and lead me to everything. So we actually sat down, and actually He led me through everything that I needed to get, and everything in trials, error, in the sense of saying, okay, yeah, that's why you don't use that one. Not just telling me, but showing me, yeah, that's why that one isn't good for this hair texture, And so from there, but it in her scalp, she pushed me. She really pushed me.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, how can we get your product? How can we get your product?
So you can head over to my website at www.naturalgoddesshairpudding.com.
Slow down.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
that-
I'm sorry.
You may have to kind of spell it out.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, it's www.naturalgoddesshairpudding.com, and that's NaturalGoddess hair pudding pudding.com, and on my Instagram and Facebook it is just Natural Goddess 007.
Is your product and they can purchase your product from those websites?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
from the website as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, wonderful. And so, back again to the natural Adonis. So you can, both of those products are on that same website, right?
Yes.
And then you also have testimonials on there and
Correct.
so on and so forth. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. And tell us, Sire, how old are you?
I'm 22 now.
Okay.
Yes.
22. Wonderful. A young entrepreneur. And so, in all of this,
When did you start? Other than the 5-year-old, but when did you actually start?
I was 17.
Okay.
And I was also, I can't finish my story without giving total honor and credit to God and me being a witness of Him. I was also bedridden for about 2 years. I had 4 chronic incurable conditions. Well, that's what the doctor said, right? But we know God is different, right? God is a healer.
He's a healer.
So from the age of 12, I was actually dealing with 4 chronic autoimmune issues. And I just got healed February 25th, 2018. I'll never forget that day. But I was completely healed, no more medicines. It was to the point where I was actually going to the hospital, and they knew my name. They was like, come on in, we got your bed ready.
So,
So, Miss Stacy, from my understanding, you're a best-selling author.
Yes.
Okay, could you tell me about your book?
It's called From Fear to Freedom, and it's 10 of us. It's 10 of us. We did this compilation compilation book where we're all basically we've given our stories, and the exposure, the response from it has been just like overwhelming and awesome. Like we just planned tonight, to do a tour. So we're looking at September to do a Fear to Freedom kickoff tour. And the funny thing about it is that I was going to back out of doing it. Like so many things the enemy was trying to get me to step out, back away from it. But I went on and did it, and I'm glad, because at first I was like, okay, God, y'all know you have me tell my business. For no reason. And not only that, I just know you didn't have me go through this just to hurt and experience the stuff without someone being healed and helped from it. So as I was writing the story, I kind of was like, I don't see any, I just didn't see where my story was, really compelling to help someone. But I've been getting feedback that a lot of people have been helped. Like, I had suppressed the attempted rape until I happened to be scrolling on Facebook and saw this guy's picture again, and it all came flooding back. And so my story starts off with a disclaimer, and it says that I have no filter, and Home Depot doesn't have one to fit me either. So I come out, my story starts off pretty raw, and it starts off with the guy tried to rape me, how he tried to embarrass me in front of the whole group of friends when we were outside. And so it goes on to talk about that and how a lot of other hurts that I had to overcome. And one, I also stated that I don't own the right or have the own the patent on hurt. Although I know hurting people hurt people, but at some point in time, we do have to own our part and let God heal and move on and help someone else.
Okay, wonderful. What we're gonna have to do in the future is sit and have a conversation about this, and then we can come back and we can talk about that, and maybe at a point where we can have other women that was in the same position or predicament that you were in. Maybe they can call in and so on and so forth, and we can have that conversation in reference to that. Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
wonderful. But it's good to know that you have that you are sharing your testimony amongst others, and and that God has brought you to a place of deliverance with it. And that you are free to share it, and when you are free to share it, then that means that you've become liberated yourself and allowed yourself to forgive the spirit of it, and then also allowed yourself to be able to forgive yourself, to free yourself in order to be able to talk about it. And so that is a wonderful thing. And y'all, once again, we're right here on kmaxgospel.com, where we play the best in gospel music. Not only do we play the best in gospel music, but we talk about various different things that are happening in our community, that are happening in our church. And y'all, we're so excited once again about the natural hair products that Sire Eminence has to offer to us, and we want you once again to get to that website. And just before we go off, we want you to give us that website again where they can go and find that product.
Okay, it's www.naturalgoddesshairpudding.com.
Natural Goddess
Hairpudding.com.
hairpudding.com. Y'all heard it right here on KMAX Gospel, where we're playing the best in gospel music. So we want to tell you all, be blessed. Have a wonderful week. God bless you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, do you have a card on you?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm quite sure I'm going to have people that's going to ask me after and during the course of the week.
She has a beard cream.
Yeah.
Like for the men. Yeah, she has a beard cream to grow it in, fill it
Y'all
up.
can't have it because y'all don't have no beard.
I don't even like it.
Yeah, we call it tame the bang.
You don't.
No, it
Like
itches
that.
and it's
Okay.
too much.
You got, I'm glad you have these ones.
Yeah. You still moisturize your skin though, right? You still moisturize your skin though, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. But some of my customers didn't do anything, and they wonder why everything was like, no, you still got skin.
They wonder why what?
Why it was dry, it was, it wasn't,
Okay,
glowing or
right,
anything
okay.
like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hair is protection, so
Okay.
if you're not having any protection on anything, you definitely need to keep a barrier on your skin.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
can, basically social media.
Substance secret? Does it have a hole?
To be honest, yeah, it does have a hole, and it also depends on, I guess, the texture of the hair. As long as you put it in and you mold the hair, it definitely will hold it. But depending on, the texture of, I guess, how curly the hair is or something like that, it will have a hole. Because when I retwist or latch hook her hair, that's all I would use is the daily conditioner, rejuvenating rain, and it'll lay down.
And so that's what we're trying to undo.
So with the stores, if you have natural stuff and you go into the stores, is
Okay.
that like
I have
is that like buying
neighbor line that does it.
greens out of the can versus cooking your own greens?
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, because the people.
Because they
in the
have,
store-
like, store stuff has a lot of preservatives in it, so if
Exactly.
you want it naturally, you would have to
Create
it's
your
the
own.
same concept, same difference.
Yes, and
Okay.
look at people had just from
Yeah.
working with her.
Uh-huh.
I can look at people and see what they're using and tell what it's doing.
Okay.
They
Your
still
hair
add
will
the
tell
alcohol.
quick.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
and so they put natural on stuff. You look at the bag, you will see a lot of things you can't pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't eat it or put it on your body.
Oh, I just stopped.
See, yeah.
See.
And I can see your grain that you look like you need more water and oil than alcohol.
You said I can see your brain.
I can see your grain, the grain of his
Yeah.
hair. I can see that he needs more oil, something that's going to make it shine and,
Hold your
hold it
moisture.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's not going to take much to keep him moisturized or hold your moisture. And with our products, it won't take a lot.
Yes, I have some on me. Yes.
How much do you charge?
It's actually on sale, so it's $28.77. I was 20% off, and that would be the daily conditioner.
Yeah, I do wigs for cancer patients.
Perfect, because we have a growth stimulant for cancer patients. When they're done with chemo and all the cells are coming back, our product actually pushes it up. So, you know, the antigen phase is back up, and it's not thin, it's not, you know, breaking, it's actually thick. I've even, in fact, her right here, Erica, actually, her hair was better than before it left with using my product.
Exactly.
Right here, this picture where she's dolled up, that's 30 days later.
Okay.
And a year later, her afro is this big.
Yeah,
Wow.
it
And I have a
puts
picture
it,
to show you. Yes,
it
ma'am.
keeps it growing.
So this
right.
is for edges and everything.
It's
Yes,
for
ma'am.
everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Medication for your hair out. Our product grows it back.
Nail pattern balding,
Yeah.
woman pattern balding,
Okay.
postpartum alopecia, any type of hair loss that it is, that one takes care of everything.
Okay, you said postpartum. You know, I'm a word fanatic, so I'm
Yes.
always listening. So
Oh,
what does that mean?
postpartum is like after a lady gives
This
birth,
is 30 days.
sometimes she would end up having hair loss.
Okay.
A lot of times it usually happens around the edges, but sometimes it just depends on where the hair growth should start lacking. But a lot of times after birth, the hair falls out in clumps, and it usually takes a minute before they actually start. You know, their hair growth phase actually start coming back in.
I feel so good. This
The sky is the limit now. I'm going higher than I ever dreamed. And I've come too far to turn around. 'Cause with you I can do anything.